this course, you will learn how to avoid common negotiation mistakes and recover from any missteps you may have already made. Number one common mistake: asking for a raise because you simply need or want one. My wife is pregnant. I'm ready to buy a house. Worse yet, I heard Bill in accounting got a raise this year. When you're coming to the table asking for more money, it better be because you have contributed more to the bottom line of the organization. That is not only the mindset you need to have, but certainly the message that you're able to relay to the individual you're asking for that raise from. And the way that we relay that message is by making sure that we prepare, because failing to prepare is the second most common negotiation mistake that we see people making. So there's two key areas that you need to make sure that you're researching and relaying. Number one, your position value in the marketplace. What is the going rate for your role in your geographic region? And you can determine this at some of the sites we've mentioned previously, salary.com, payscale.com. But you also want to take a look at your individual value, what you're adding to the company's bottom line. Accomplishments that you have made in the last year, such as meeting tight deadlines, managing more projects, increasing sales, lead generation, those are all examples of solid contributions you may choose to cite during your conversation. And the third biggest mistake that I see people making is failing to establish the relationship of trust before entering negotiations. Confidence is important in negotiations. We've heard the phrase negotiating from a position of strength, so we need to make sure that we're establishing that in part of the conversation. Having confidence, knowing that you in fact have sort of an unwavering self-belief that this is something that you need in order to continue to producing in the organization. The second, making sure that you are prepared, because having all of your ducks in a row helps that individual to know that you have the credibility to be driving this conversation. And three, pulling the trigger when the timing is right, making sure that you're inquiring as to what the status of the organization is and how you can start to support that organization in the best possible way while they're allowing you to be your best self. These are all important areas when you're looking to establish that trust relationship. Now, if you've already made a mistake in your negotiations, it's absolutely okay. You can certainly do something to support that if a negotiation doesn't work out. First, remember that there are many things that you can do to strengthen your negotiation muscle. Maybe it is to continue to practice with calling your cable company and asking for a better rate. Maybe it's you're going to negotiate and practice with someone who works in sales so that the next time you'll be even stronger. Keep in mind there's more than just money to be discussed. Some of those non-cash benefits that we've talked about in prior videos relate to up to 30 to 40% of your total compensation. Not simply healthcare, but PTOs, stock options. Maybe there's a healthcare center that can support you, parking, all sorts of stuff like that. And make sure that you keep a really positive attitude about these negotiations. It's a process that can benefit both parties, so it's certainly possible to come to a win-win. And if this year or this quarter wasn't your time to execute that conversation the way that you wanted, be sure to ask your supervisor when might be the right time to come back to the table so that you can have that conversation again. Remember, negotiations are expected to be a multi-step process, and your best possible option is to step courageously in. It can make an exponential difference in your career journey, and it never hurts to try. Thank you so much for joining us. Please visit our blog to access the Learning Library and more free downloads.